This is the Greenaissance episode 2.
On my way up, what up? How you living, bro? On my way up, what up? How you living, bro? On my way up, what up? How you living, bro? How you living, bro? How you living?
We're here for a good time, not a long time today. Hope y'all doing well. Hope you've had a good time since the last time we spoke. Hope your week is going well. It's Sunday today, at least at the time of this recording. So may you have a good week, and may your day be full of light and joy and green. So, episode 2. In this episode, we're going to officially define the Greenaissance. It's official. We got a definition now. In the first episode, you may have saw me fumbling, trying to understand and get an idea of what the Greenaissance is. But however, we're locked in and loaded right now, all right? So, the Greenaissance. The definition of the Greenaissance. Ready? It's a revival of sustainable living. Boom. That's it. Episode's done. A revival of sustainable living. That is the Greenaissance. How we look to facilitate the revival of sustainable living is by educating, exploring, and establishing sustainable solutions to modern day problems. How to educate. To interview intellectuals, professionals, and enthusiasts to share information and wisdom about their fields of study, philosophy, and approaches to their sustainable solutions. That's the education piece. So if you know anybody that's in this space of sustainability, whether they're working on some really cool farming projects, any cool green architecture projects, landscape horticulture design projects, herbalism projects, please let me know. I'd love to have them on the podcast. Got a couple of guests lined up, so I'm super excited for that. Like I said, the Greenaissance is a movement. All right, we're rolling this thing. All right, we're initiating this thing, and it's going to make everybody want to get down with the revival of sustainable living. How to explore. Traveling to these solutions, showcasing these solutions, and documenting them as they unfold in action. How to establish. To build, create, and innovate projects that promote a sustainable way of living. So for the exploring piece, I'm going to be going to places or finding pieces online that I'll be sharing with you all that I believe is going to be, that I believe like showcases what I see the Greenaissance being. People are already doing this work, right? This isn't nothing new. I'm not innovating anything right now. I'm just making people aware. I just want to help push out this message because I feel like it's a very important solution to our modern day problems. And how to establish, to build, create, and innovate projects that promote a sustainable way of living. So I have a couple of projects here on the property that I'm working on that I'm looking forward to sharing with you all in due time. And if you check out my story, you may see me working on some things. And that's how I'm doing it. So if anybody wants to learn from me how to do some things with whatever it is that they have or whatever it is that I'm teaching that they feel like they can implement on their own, this is what I'll be sharing from my personal projects and journey. So that's how we're going to establish. So yeah, man, that is the Greenaissance. The Greenaissance. I told y'all, we are here. It's established, and we're going to keep it rolling. Now, a little bit more about me, right? How my journey began. So it's been about 10 years now. About 10 years ago, I started looking into, I read a book called The Souls of Black Folk. And I actually really didn't finish the book. I got a decent way through it, but there was one portion of the book that really stood out to me, which is when W.B. Du Bois talks about how and I haven't even picked up this book in almost a decade either, so bear with me on this. But essentially, a message I got from that book was how Black people in America post-slavery, they established themselves through the works of agriculture And it was the foundation for them to be able to create independent systems and independent societies, which allowed them to flourish at a certain time period, like before, this is like before, like the civil rights movement. This is like a time. This is like almost like right after the Emancipation Proclamation, and you had black folks out here doing great things through agriculture, being able to build communities off of that, right? And so I used to see it as just, you know, just growing food, right? If you grow food, you're good, right? But agriculture, this is what I've come to kind of like now in my journey, is how agriculture is actually more so of a, it's the foundation for everything, right? It's not just food. You have raw materials that are being produced that allow us to produce the homes that we live in, the clothes that we wear. These raw materials are everything. Everything comes from the earth. Everything comes straight out the dirt. And so I want to be a part of that, right? We've been blessed with a really awesome property over here in Durham and wanting to turn this space into a production place. But we're not going to go into that. But anyway, that's the vision, right? So yeah, that's how it started. And early on in my journey, I was working for awesome like edible landscaping company, and they really put me on. I was learning a lot, and I was working for like an organic food warehouse that really like had me like in the industry, and I was really like passionate about this. You know, I was going to all like the events, going to networking events, like documentaries being shown, other people's farms. It was great, man. But then I got distracted. Later on in life, I kind of got distracted. I kind of got off the journey for a bit, you know. Honestly, just thinking more so about like, just like the most important thing was just to get money, but forget like how, by what means. It was like, how can I just like establish myself in a really good career and become a family man and, you know, and do all that stuff without, and I wasn't considering what it was that I was really passionate about. I was thinking more so about like, I needed to go somewhere else. So I bounced around jobs for a little bit. And then I got into sales, and, you know, I was doing fairly well in sales. But, you know, it just wasn't, it wasn't really resonating with my heart. It wasn't resonating with my soul. And I knew that I needed to get back to this. And it was a tug and pull. Like when my daughter was born, I was like on the edge of getting ready to leave. But then like the scarcity mindset just came up, and it was like, you're going to take a step back, and your daughter's here now. And that's my second child. Like when my son was born, I was still just focused about the money, right? But it was just something about my daughter being born and just making me want to be like, get back to this creative and abundance mindset type of space, you know? And so I decided to stay though when she was initially born, stay at my sales job instead of leaving to the job that I'm actually at now. And it took me about a year for me to come back around and really be like, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to get back into this. This is it's bigger than the money, right? There's so much that can be done with this space. We need this independence. We need this knowledge to be preserved. We need to continue to educate people and bring people into it. I need to do this for my personal health, for my family's health, right? It's not about just getting the bread and, you know, going to Costco to buy up some stuff. It's like, nah, man, we're going to be producing. We're getting back to being producers. We're getting back to working with the land. My wife's been with it too, because she was, you know, a major catalyst for me early on in my journey when we were initially dating. She really, you know, was somebody who was also very passionate about this space, even more organized than I was, because she was in the university space. You know, I'm just out here, you know, I wasn't in school or anything at the time, just kind of doing my thing as an artist and learning about this space. And so when we came together, this is something that really helped us, you know, have a strong bond. And it's really kind of been like a foundation of our relationship. It's our glue, really. So I had to get back into it. So now I'm back, you know, I'm back in the game. I'm working for a gardening company. Essentially, we build gardens in people's yards. We do everything from hardscapes and planting And man, I'm back in the industry and I'm learning a lot, and I'm becoming more interested about things. I'm exploring more. And so that's like priceless, you know what I'm saying? Just wanting to, whatever you got to do to like get back to what it is that you're passionate about, that you're really calling towards, and something that you really know is like life changing, and you really have the clarity on like this is what you need to be doing. Go for it and do it, yo. Some passions I feel like can be distractions from the devil. Right? I ain't gonna go that deep with y'all today, but check your passions. Make sure it's really yours. You know what I mean? Make sure it's really yours, and it's not something that the system has infused into your psyche that makes you believe like you have to be doing this thing, right? Do some self-discovery. So that's what's going on right now. I'm working as a landscaper, gardener, full-time hardscaper, and we have this property. We're going to start producing crops on this property in due time. And you know, it's the winter right now. Today is November 23rd at the recording of this video, and we're just getting the landscape ready. You know, we're doing our research, we're learning, we're discovering, and we're figuring out what it is that we want to do here on this space while we're here, and how to build that independence and that self-sustainability, and to also be of a benefit to our community, right? Because that's what's most important. So why the Greenaissance then, right? Why am I now trying to build this thing as I'm on this journey, right? The reason I'm building the Greenaissance is because the Greenaissance is the Greenaissance is really more so about bringing people together, right? Because people are the most critical resource, right? You can't get anything done. You can't accomplish anything without people. You need people, man. So with the Greenaissance, I'm really looking to, once again, connect with people who are already doing it, connect with people who know way more than I do, and just have a conversation with them and put those conversations out. And I also, want to, and this isn't just people in North America. I'm in Durham, North Carolina right now. North Carolina's an agricultural state. I think agriculture is our number one industry in North Carolina. And, I want to be connecting with people all over the world, I want to discover the projects that they're doing in Ghana, in Sri Lanka, in Dagestan, in Indonesia, in Zimbabwe, in Ethiopia, in wherever, the Netherlands, Switzerland, what's going on? Like, we want to just figure out, like, there's so many people all over the world who are doing sustainable projects in such innovative, creative, and mind-boggling type of ways that I'm just trying to bring them to you. I'm trying to bring them to the people, right? And then you can learn and you can figure out how you can find your way in. If this is something that you're trying to get into as well, you can figure out how to get into this industry, see what's possible, right? Let's connect on that. So I built an online community. It's free. I ain't trying to make no money off of nobody. I'm just trying to connect with folks right now because we need the network. We need the network. We need each other. The people are the most critical resource. So join the school community. There's a link in my bio wherever this video or podcast is being played from right now. And join the community. Let's have a conversation. Let's share information. Let's create something beautiful together. All right? The Greenaissance. Let's get back to sustainable living. All right? So that's it for this episode today. Got a lot going on over here. So these episodes, I'm just happy to get them out. And thanks for tuning in. Once again, join the school community. That's the main thing right now. Oh, look, there's a lizard right there. Lizard wants to tell y'all peace. Say peace, lizard. Peace. Later.
I don't wanna imitate, I only wanna be authentic. Only do what radiates my spirit. Only do what radiates my spirit.